ropes going flipping mental, innit? Audience claims actions were due to distress and losing his blue check mark. Drama alert. Where's the drama clips or whatever? Sorry, I didn't have any breakfast. And I'm kind of low on food. I kind of gotta go grocery shopping. And I realized that I was going to start the stream and I was going to be hungry. And it was going to be cause of problems. I'm just munching on some celery and apple before we get started here. How about $8 per month? God, that post is so funny. Everyone knows, if everyone saw the tweet from Elon, like he's haggling with Stephen King. He's haggling with Stephen King about the $20 checkmark thing. He's like, how about $8? Everyone knows. Hold on. We can look at the post if you're not familiar. Everyone knows the number one rule of negotiation. Right? If you know me, I'm a big like business deals kind of guy, you know? Everyone knows this about me. The number one rule of negotiation is when you make an offer to someone and they say, no way, I'm not paying that. You immediately cut your offer by more than 50%. First thing you want to do. Everyone knows this. Everyone knows this is the first most important rule of negotiation. Mr. Dr. Deals. Immediately ask for 40% of your initial offer. Art of the deal. Everyone knows you start high, then get down to where you actually were willing to settle. Elon wanted $8 all along. Genius.
We simply use the computer to mark up the size of the account.
I too read Art of the Deal. Thank you, Dimitri. Only the best and brightest climb up the economic ladder in capitalism. This is the funny thing as well, because he's like, we need to pay the bills somehow. Right? People have actually worked out the economics of this whole plan to like charge people. Which I think is what's going to raise like $25 million or something like that, which is like a week's worth of operating costs. He just paid $44 billion, and this whole big plan that he has to get people to subscribe is going to raise like a couple million per year, maybe. How do you think Twitter has stayed afloat for like 20 years? I mean, this is the negotiation style of a man who only understands that to make a profit is when the government just gives you billions of dollars in subsidies for delivering nothing, right? This is his business acumen. Yeah, you just take over a company and then the government just gives you billions of dollars while you deliver nothing. That's how business works. That's what economics 101. Then he spends $44 billion to take over this company because he thinks it's going to be epic or whatever. And he's like, okay, so where's the free money? How does this work? When do people start giving me all the free billions of dollars? That's how making money works, right? According to him, it is. That's how it's always worked for his whole career. Are you telling me that $8 for that Stephen King blue check is going to undo the damage he's done by letting his dumb fans say slurs? I don't think so. That's a good idea, Dose Streams. Like, if it's so fucking important for these weirdos that love Elon Musk, he wants to turn it into like 4chan, I guess. Yeah. If it's so fucking important for them to like be able to say the N-word or whatever, just charge per usage. Okay, you want to do it? Yeah, I guess you can do it without getting banned, but it's going to cost you. You could probably recoup the whole cost there. We can't be relying on advertisers because we want to say slurs. $8. You have like a chart with all the different slurs, and it's like it's more expensive the more extreme the slur, the more offensive. It's a sliding scale, you know? There's some more minor slurs that are just $1. You know, but then the more major ones that really get you in trouble. Get N-Pass Premium. Oh my gosh. Surge pricing. Oh my fucking god. Amazing. Mr. Business Genius. Research prices after LeBron does an interview. I wonder if you get a discount if you're already a Tesla customer or if you get charged more. I would say you get charged more because you've already proven yourself to be a massive mark and sucker. So I would say you pay more. And these people will do it. They're like, yes, daddy. Whatever you say. Two slur juices can be combined into 1 giga slur. Fucking Christ. How many slurs can I post from my Tesla car screen in my car before the auto drive feature absolutely pulverizes a child trying to cross the street? Morning, Rob. Just a reminder to all my Ontario friends, if the education workers go on strike Friday, please do what you can to support them. Fuck Ford and his illegal intimidation tactics. I should probably be covering that. I should probably do more of coverage of that in that situation this week. I haven't been following it super closely because I don't live in Ontario. But considering my own dear mother was a teacher in Ontario for many decades, it hits close to home. You have to meet the slur quota to gain access back to power steering and ABS. Oh. Amazing. What a business genius. A Tesla slowly accelerating down the turnpike and some Mark is screaming slurs that would make Churchill blush just to regain control. The old-timey slurs, the ones you don't even hear anymore. The Victorian era slurs. Just bringing back all kinds of slurs you haven't even thought of in a while. Excuse me. I really did think a lot of the talk of Elon ruining Twitter were kind of overblown, frankly. You know, not that I like Elon, but I was kind of like, my attitude about this was like, whatever, it's like like I was saying yesterday, right? He's like a libertarian tech bro dipshit. Like, Twitter is currently operated by billionaire tech bro dipshits, Silicon Valley weirdos. Like, who cares, right? How bad can it possibly be? And it's really like, wow, he really is completely running it right into the ground. Ford is also passing a bill that would make the housing crisis even worse. It's so frustrating given like what Ford is doing right now with public sector workers, housing, and like all these things, how easily he just sailed to re-election, right? What a wonderful democracy we got here in Canada, in Ontario. Just cruised right to re-election. I think they announced that he won, after like 30 minutes? No, really good stuff. Elon will just let government subsidies hold Twitter up like the rest of his businesses. Well, this is what I'm talking about, though. Like, no one's coming to help him now, though. Like I was pointing out with this tweet, this is the business acumen of someone his only understanding of making profit, as much as he gets held up as being this like Mr. Capitalism, or whatever, Mr. Business Genius. The only time he's ever made profit is just when the government just hands him fucking burlap sacks filled with billions of dollars for doing nothing. Excuse me. Yeah, it comes from slaver money. Apartheid emerald mine money. I think you're forgetting the many times the government has used Twitter, a la SOS Cuba. Well, it's like the Saudis own a big share of it now too, right? So probably we're going to see a lot of Saudi bot network stuff. If you tweet about Saudi Arabia, you're almost guaranteed to get some bots in your mentions. Don't say that about our great country. Look at the things that America and Canada do. So that kind of bot now, and then, like, we know that he has relationships, you know, with the Defense Department in this. Although that's been one interesting thing. Like I was saying, the extremely rare Elon W is that he's started to like go against the sort of foreign policy blob groupthink lately, which is probably spooking a lot of people. I think the Biden administration specifically said, like, we don't want you guys, you want him to own Twitter because he's saying nice things about Russia. Yeah, that all his profit is subsidies and his fans are so done they think he actually invented things. He literally just took his emerald mine money, invested in a few companies that became successful, and then pretended that he invented those companies that already existed when he put money into them. Even Tesla. He didn't even found Tesla. Someone pointed out an account labeled as Ukrainian government news or whatever, which we don't think happened before the purchase. I don't think so either. That's one kind of interesting wrinkle to all this, you know? His relationship with these kinds of like, with the foreign policy blob and the Defense Department and all that. He is a coward for deleting the Clinton crime family tweet. Absolutely. Absolutely. I thought this guy cared about free speech. Ugh. Anyway, how are you all doing? How was your Halloween? Did you have a good Halloween? I just want Trump back on Twitter. I gotta say that I do too. Yeah, I gotta say I do as well. We had a good Halloween. My son really liked his Mr. Hyde costume. He was really excited by that. We got all the fentanyl and estrogen I wanted. Very good. Yeah, we gave it all our fentanyl laced candy as well. I took my kid to this one house. Like, there's this one house sort of near where we live. We had to like take the car to get there, but like they really go wild though. All kinds of crazy stuff. I'm just wondering if I can show you. I'm a little leery about showing pictures of my kid on here, but I'll show you the house though. We brought him to this house. Took a little drive there. Which is like crazy. And there's a whole section like behind here. There's like a little path with all these kinds of booths. I'm eating my ecstasy lace sweet tarts with morning coffee. Very good. So I brought him here and then we went home and we walked around kind of our own neighborhood a little bit. We had a lot of kids coming to our house. We had like hundreds and hundreds of kids come by. All our candy was given out. All the candy was given out. We had a big rush. Here's me. I do the same thing every year. I meant to show you this yesterday, but I forgot. That was me. The kids love this one. The kids love this one. They find it genuinely scary. Watch Barbarian. What did you think, King Uendo? What did you think? Without getting into spoiler territory. I wish I had enough money to own a house and buy like 20 of those 12-foot tall skeletons from Home Depot and just leave them up all year round. Yeah, like we rent. Like our place is rented, but we still have like it's really my partner that goes crazy with this, but it was really like we go pretty ham on the Halloween decorations. So we got a lot of kids. It's cool to go to Mitch McConnell. Yeah, there we go. Trying to reach a hand across the aisle, you know? Are you excited about Avatar 2? Of course I am, Hassan. Of course I am. I'm very hyped. Oops, I'm on caps lock there. 1 month, 14 days, 12 hours, 9 minutes, and 6 seconds. Till Avatar 2 is in theaters. If I had a house, there wouldn't be decorations, they'd be permanent. Just the permanent 12-foot skeleton house. That sounds good. Winnipeg is in the news again because there seems to be a credible, I'm still somewhat skeptical because cops' account of weed gummies being handed out. but they're full on 600 mg bags of nerd edibles. Why would you do that? That would be so. Like, for anyone that actually does that, for all the horror stories we hear about that kind of stuff being given out, what possible reason would there be to do that? We haven't even paid our first mortgage payment, and our loan already got purchased from our company to another bank. Seems like a healthy sign. Yeah, it should be great. Yeah, me showing up to that guy's house 6 times. Hey, man. Hey, trick or treat. Trick or treat, man. Apparently there are like 7 families reporting it and counting. It's probably cops doing it. It's probably cops' house doing it in the first place. Just to justify their own existence. They can finally like point to one of these stories as being true. See, it happens. Someone just debunked that guy, that face-eating guy on bath salts story from a few years ago. Yeah, I saw that. Turns out that guy was not high on bath salts at all. He just wanted to eat someone's face. Did you hear about the cop selling Fent out of his cruiser to kids? Yeah, I did. Yeah. Weird when they can touch it then, and it doesn't immediately just kill them. Doesn't immediately knock them out. When you're selling it to kids from your police cruiser, then it's fine. Hey, Dakadoon. Back in the office, been about a month. Sorry to hear that. You got this. You got this, Dakadoon. No bath salts, just a standard zombie. That's right. You're not understanding. That's the safe Fent. Oh, okay. Okay. I see. I see how it goes. Needles and apple bobbing barrels only. Keep it traditional, exactly. Back in my day, we put needles and apples. None of this new crazy Halloween poisoning. When is it okay to play Christmas music? Not before December. I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you that much, Hassan. I don't hear one fucking note of a Christmas music before December. I think King Uendo is... I agree with that, King Uendo. During the 12 days of Christmas, which I say is from the 20th to the 31st. The thing is, I don't want to hear it after the 25th either. So I would say, what is that? I would say the 13th to the 25th. That's all you get. It gets shut off. Christmas music can start on 2 days, either your first snow of the winter or December 1st. I have a feeling like this winter is gonna be warmer, considering how warm it's been over the last couple of weeks. Here, anyways. I don't know about elsewhere. You would hope that in like Western Europe and the places where all this like the fucking energy crisis is going to happen, that it is going to be warmer. Considering what energy costs are going to be for people. We had a lovely foggy high 50s, low 60s Halloween night last night. It was perfect. Yeah, it was great here as well. It was great here as well. I'm trying not to enjoy the unseasonable warmth, which is like this ominous sign. It could start at the end of the Macy's parade on Thanksgiving. Oh man, Sinchow. Oh my goodness. It's seasonable now. Yeah, I guess so. Christmas season starts today. No, it does not. It absolutely does not. This is poppy season. I know everyone. I know Carrier Wave has his poppy. I know everyone in the chat. You got it already. And you're ready to bust it out November 1st. Same with me. Same with me. I have a special poppy. I have a little special case. I have a little special case that I unlock every year and get out my exclusive cool poppy. Poppy season, time to get addicted to opiates. That's right. Yeah. Do a white one. Get people mad as hell. What's the white one? What's the white poppy? The anti-war poppy. I just don't wear one. That's the thing that makes people the most mad. It's really like the whole, especially in Canada. I don't think in America it's the same thing, but it's like, it's exactly like that Seinfeld episode. Why did you wear the ribbon? Where's your puppy? Why are you not wearing the puppy? She's wearing the puppy. He's wearing the puppy. And when someone tells me to wear a puppy, I'm going to say, no, thank you. It's a big thing on Normal Island. No, for sure. Yeah. When someone asks me to wear a puppy, I'm going to say, no, thank you. Would you like a poppy, sir? No, I do not. Wearing a Ukrainian flag next to the poppy this year. You know what? I bet there is this, but a Ukraine flag colored poppy. Imagine that. A Ukraine flag colored poppy. That's what I should do. I'm sure this exists already. I'm gonna get one of these, okay? And when someone just wears a regular poppy, I'm gonna just judge them. I'm gonna be like, oh, you don't have a Ukraine flag poppy? That's kind of messed up. That's kind of messed up. I'm gonna start judging people that just have the regular red ones. My sunflower pin next to my Ukraine flag poppy pin. Yep. That's how you really know that you're one of the good guys. Given how cucked Canadians are about Vimy Ridge as our national origin story, a warmongering Ukraine poppy makes sense, actually. Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. Need a pair of pants made of these, like a pair of Jinkos made entirely of Ukraine poppies. That sounds good. Yeah, I respect the poppy. Former Boston Red Sox player David Papi Ortiz. You ruined my day today. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome, Red Wizard. I'm still kind of hungry. Eating this rabbit food just did not give me any satisfaction whatsoever. Has Canada started flying the Ukraine flag under all Canadian flags? We should. If we haven't, we should.
This is some guy, Rob Russo, some leftist based in Canada. I was turned on to this sick individual, and I found this.
They're in. Lucid, thank you so much for the raid. Lucid, thank you. Mission District fans in. Oh, God. Were you embarrassing me? Were you embarrassing me talking about my past as a pop star?
Good old Rob to talk you through all this.
Are you embarrassing me, Lucid?
You can count on me. You're going to have good old Rob to
Are you telling me about my
this.
past as a...
Hello, I am in this district of Twitch hoping for a new communist mission. Is this the mission district?
Are you exposing my past as a mildly successful pop star? I was in a pop band too, Rob. These edgelords just don't understand. I'm proud. Listen, I am proud of my experience. I had a record deal with Virgin Records, people. Do you know how hard that is to do? Has anyone ever played in a band before? Do you know how hard it is to sign a major label record deal? I'll tell you, it's not easy. It's not an easy thing to do. Many people that have joined bands have tried to do this, and it's not easy. Emphasis on Virgin Records, absolutely. Many people have tried. It's not easy. It is not easy. I have a contract with Virgin Media right now. It's for my internet. Anyway, I'm only mildly embarrassed, okay? Only mildly. Anyway, Part Ian, thank you for the 14 months of Tier 1. Thank you, River and Ravens, as well, for the 9 months of Tier 1. Thank you. And thank you again, Lucid, for the raid. Even though you're embarrassing me. You're trying to embarrass me. I just came up with a great band name, JOI Division. That is pretty good. Yeah, that's good. He went from Virgin Records to recording a stream for a bunch of virgins. How the mighty have fallen. Very true. Very true. Did you guys ever recoup your advance? Probably not. Our advance was quite small. We did not get a big advance. And a lot of money was spent on flying us over to like the UK and renting gear and stuff. They spent a lot of money, which probably was not recouped, no. I would say. Anyway, I would introduce myself to the Lucid Raiders, but apparently you're already familiar. You're familiar with my whole backstory, I guess. By the way, you can't even raid here, and you can't even smash the follow button. You're coming in here raiding my stream when I'm try to talk about important political discourse. You're coming here embarrassing me, bringing up my past as a pop sensation, and you can't even smash the follow button. You can't even smash the follow button. Wow. Okay. I see how it goes. I see how it goes. Very interesting. I actually wrote quite a good pop song the other day. I've been kind of getting back to writing some music, actually. I played that song I was working on Friday. We did a little Fruity Loops stream. And I actually turned it into a full like pop song. Not that I'm going to play it for you. Not that I'm going to play it for you, chat, because you don't deserve it. You don't deserve to hear it. But yes, I still do write music, and I enjoy it, and I think it's cool. The one thing about like being in like a modestly successful pop band that I do feel like a little bit of regret over is that when we started our band, I really wanted to be like a cool indie band. Like this was in Montreal in like 2005, and it's like Arcade Fire and Wolf Parade and all these like really cool bands were coming out of Montreal at that time. And I really wanted to do that. And I think that's kind of what we started doing. We were like indie and cool, right? And then it's just like the more we kind of like ditched that aesthetic and just went into this like pure pop aesthetic, the more successful we became. And I always wanted to be like a cool indie band. And then like we had to sacrifice being cool, I think, a little bit. Did you ever wish y'all went with a different band name? Any second or third place names you remember? We started out, we absolutely did sell out. Yeah, for sure. We did big time. We started out as a pop punk band called Full Count. Some might say you sold out, but you really just bought in. That's right. That's right, Valley Salt. Thank you. Thank you for backing me up. You sold forward. The good old days, I went to Arcade Fire in a church basement in Brockville. Farflight, I'm from Brockville. I grew up in Brockville, Ontario. Did you know that? Did you know that? Are you from Brockville? I grew up in Brockville, Ontario. I went to many shows in church basements in Brockville. Full Count is an incredible pop punk band name. We had some good songs. Thank you, Slapo Topo, for the comment about my hat. I started writing again too, but it sampled Aqua and the hook started Put a Fork in Me, I'm Done. Starting to think I don't take it as seriously as I used to. I wrote a really good song the other day. I started writing it on Friday and I'd have a full like demo for a song and I'm not playing it for any of you. I'm from Brockville, attended St. Mary's. Remember the punk scene fondly, particularly the loft above the Keystorm. That must be a little after my time because this was like the late 90s for me. The Brockville Church basement to Tanky Pipeline. That's right. Yeah. That's right.
You can count on me. You're going to have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
June Song 91. Thank you for the 8 months of tier 1. Thank you. Oh boy, this is an exciting start to the stream. I'm also from Brockville. Not true. That's why we call Big Shiny Takes Eric the Prince of Lies. I honestly thought the Tim Pool pop punk song was not that bad. It's just very derivative of that era of like 2003 style like emo pop punk. I don't know. It's not really bringing anything new to the genre, you know? And like when you've got money to throw around and just get like producers to like produce it, you can make a song that sounds pretty good. I just want to fit in. Eric, how was the Harbinger fundraiser the other day on Sunday? I watched a lot of it. I was here keeping it on so you have some viewers. I promoted it in the Discord server. I was in Detroit, so I missed it. Oh, okay. It seemed good from what I saw. I was sorry I wasn't really able to be involved because I had my attention focused on a lot of other things. I actually wrote, again, this is getting further into the lore now. I actually, when the Mission District was like kind of on its way, was kind of finishing up, I did release like a solo EP. It's like a pop punk EP. And I don't know if I feel comfortable sharing it with people. I think I've shared it with Outrun. I did release a solo pop punk EP. And I would say unequivocally though, it is superior to Tim Pool's. I would say it's significantly better than Tim Pool's. Is there a Mission District single that would fit in my Comrade Jams playlist? I'll understand and not hold it against you if the answer is not. We had a the last single we put out was called I Just Don't Feel the Same, and I still like that song. It's good. It's like a very 80s influenced pop song. It's good. I think my problem and the reason I've wanted to move on from the Mission District stuff is because our one like big song was called So Over You, and I just never really liked it. I didn't really have any hand in writing it. I never really liked the song that much, and if like it was always our most popular song, and it got a lot of radio play and music video play and stuff, and I was never really into it. You know, by the time we got to that point, we had really moved pretty far away from like what I was kind of into and what we had started out as. So that was always the thing with me. You're going to hate this, but that's what Lucid showed us. Well, it's okay. It's the most popular song. It's got a big music video and everything, big fancy music video. We filmed it in London. We were big in the UK at the time. We were touring the UK all the time. We toured the UK with Simple Plan. We opened up for Simple Plan on a UK tour. It was crazy, actually. It was wild. It was a wild time. It's your Warrant's cherry pie. Something like that, yeah. Something like that. Like we played, so in 2009, New Year's 2010, 2009, 2010, we played a show in Nathan Phillips Square in Toronto in front of like 30,000 people or something. Like the whole New Year's festivity thing. We played that, and then like the next day we drove back to Montreal and like was listening to the radio and heard our single on the radio and like heard an interview that I had done. Like I heard myself speaking from a radio interview, and then to play the song, it was like one of the top 100 singles of the year, whatever, on the radio. It was so surreal. It was a really surreal time. You know, when you start playing in a band, you think about getting to that point, and then when you start getting to there, it's like, geez, this is very strange. I'd be going in the grocery store and stuff, and I would hear my band playing on the radio. And it's funny because that was like their absolute height, and then it immediately went nowhere afterwards. It immediately crashed. It immediately fell apart shortly afterwards. Very tragic story. That must be why Rob's so wealthy, of course. I still get royalty checks sometimes of like $3. Like, here you go, Mr. Fancy, formerly successful musician. Here's your ACTRA check for $3.75. Thank you, SoCan. Yeah. You need to be constantly coming out with hits. Very few people have a one-hit wonder that lasts decades. Yeah, this is the tricky part. What pays more, the royalties or the CIA? Well, I don't get paid by the CIA. That's a purely volunteer gig. I don't get paid by the CIA. I just volunteer because I'm passionate about this kind of stuff. You know? Like NAFO. I'm in it for the love of the game. The CIA is paying me an exposure. That's right. Yeah, it's like an internship for love of country. Correct. I bet there are CIA simps that do that shit for them for free. No, in fucking NAFO. That's what I mean. Like, I'm sure there's some of these NAFO types that are on the payroll, but a lot of them are just volunteering. The people who are unironically getting paid by the CIA in exposure. That's right. Yeah. What a preposterous use of your time. organic neoliberalism. It's very sad. It's a very sad situation. I'm going to put on some different music here. Because as many of you know, I do create all the music for this stream, all the music that we're listening to right now. I'm not exactly shy about this. Anyway, we will get into talking about important business. I guess because the Lucid chatters wanted to come here and bring up my past. My hidden past it's not even hidden. I've talked about it many times. I had one of our former fans come in here one time as well. Does anyone remember that? That was exciting. I had one of our fans coming in here and be like, "Hey, I used to go and listen to your music all the time and like go and follow you around on tour." That was so cool. I haven't exactly been shy about talking about this. Have you ever noticed that bad pasta is better the next day and good pasta is better fresh? No, I have not noticed that. No. Your past finally shows you that when you're the common man and not just a political CIA plant. That's right. That's right. I mean, you can really track my whole radicalization. It's all online, right? It's all, even the people have like dug up old shit of mine to prove that I'm some poser or whatever, but it's like you can see my whole progression. It's like it's not, and it's literally tied to the music business, because like when all of a sudden in 2010 we stopped touring and we kind of stopped being a band, really, even though technically it kind of lasted for another couple more months. I was just like alone in my room in the winter with just nothing to do. And I just started going on Twitter all the time. And I feel like this is the beginning of the Obama administration. I started paying really close attention to like what Obama was doing foreign policy wise. As much as he's gone off the rails, I became really into the writing of like Glenn Greenwald, as Glenn was covering Obama's like drone warfare program. And I started being like, hey, this doesn't seem like the hope and change stuff that this guy was talking about. The Iraq war and everything. It kind of seems like they're stepping up all these things. They're blowing up weddings and funerals and all this shit. That became very like, that really influenced my whole politics. And then discovering Bernie, and you can see, like, you can plot this whole process. Greenwald did fall off. Yes, he did. Damn shame that Glenn died in 2010. That's absolutely right. Well, I realize now, especially though, that Glenn, like, as much as he kind of positioned himself as being like some kind of leftist, really he just likes to own the libs. And when Obama and libs were being hypocritical, he was really into pointing that out. It was never about any kind of principled opposition to anything. He was always just kind of a vaguely libertarian type. Yeah. But played a big, I got to admit, played a big role in my whole political journey. Exposing the war crimes of the Obama administration. Yeah, Max Blumenthal is a one that fucked, not as much me, but Subversive History says Max Blumenthal is one that fucked me up the most in the last year. Like I've always had kind of kept him at arm's length, but just the really good journalism that he did on imperialism and Palestine and this kind of stuff, to see him go down the like COVID conspiracy crank path was very disappointing. Yeah, no, Greenwald was doing pro bono legal work for fascists in the early 2000s. He's always been off. No, and of course he wasn't exactly open about that. He wasn't exactly open about that whole period when he became prominent writer, because he was writing for Salon when I discovered Greenwald. He was basically a Salon writer covering foreign policy. And yet another example of what no theory does to an MF, isn't it? I don't mind that we have people like him getting good foreign policy takes to people further right. Yeah, it's just now he doesn't even really seem like he's even doing that anymore, though. That's kind of the issue. You know, if he still was doing that. And I sometimes, like every one Glenn take in 10, I'll say like, okay, he's doing something kind of interesting here. But mostly he's just not even bothering to do that anymore. Yeah, Twitter completely melted his brain, for sure. The current Greenwald brain rot really caught me off guard. Yeah. No, absolutely. Oh, Blumenthal. Okay, yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's true, Sinchao. Although, I think the problem is he goes down this crank path and becomes this like COVID conspiracy crank. And that allows people to then write off the truth things that he says, whether it's about Ukraine, whether it's about Israel, whether it's about whatever foreign policy stance that he's doing good, or China, Xinjiang, or whatever good foreign policy opinions he has, he then turns people off that. And they say, well, if he's doing this COVID conspiracy bullshit, then that must be bullshit as well, you know? Oh, this is a funny tweet as well. Progressive Canuck. The Bolsonaro voters in Miami. 81% for Bolsonaro for Brazilians in Miami. And this is, of course, like in Florida, the Democrats are always like, we must appeal to these reactionary voters in Florida. We can never say anything about Castro or do anything good because it will piss off these reactionary voters in Florida. Bernie praised Castro's literacy programs. We could never nominate this guy. He's going to sink us.
You can count on me. You're going to have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
Good afternoon, Rob Heads and Triangle family. Hope you are having a wonderful November 1st, and reminder that Canada is a fake country that has a clause in the charter that lets you trample over people's human rights if you feel like it. Love you all.
Teaching peasants how to read. I know, it's just disgusting behavior. Pissed, one of the original valued community member. I think Anus Beard was the original, but Pissed is one of the original valued community members. Thank you, Pissed, for the 18 months resub at tier 2. Very, very much appreciated. We miss having you in the chat. Anus Beard. Who remembers Anus Beard? I'm an hour away from Miami, and it's insane how crazy these people are. A Cuban guy I work with literally told me nobody south of the Rio Grande is capable of governing themselves. Wonderful. Wonderful. We must appeal to these people. It's so important. It's so important that we appeal to these people. We can never do anything that even resembles socialism. Otherwise, these people who definitely would be lining up to vote for us, we're going to lose them. Come back to us, Anus Beard. We miss him. You know, we do. There's been a number of community members that have come and gone over the years, over the 2 years of doing this stream. Anus Beard is really the one that got away, though, you know? There was that guy. Who is that guy that got really mad at me for not doing a 9/11 conspiracy stream? Who is that? Remember the one guy that got so upset that I didn't do a 9/11 conspiracy stream, a 9/11 truth stream, which I had planned to do and I just couldn't for whatever reason. And this guy just got so upset he left in disgust. He left the community in disgust. He was so upset. I can't remember who it was. It was Matt. Okay, I was still mad about that. Was it me? No, it's no. They left the community. They're gone now. King went as a ghost. Okay. We had a couple cantankerous tankies leave over time as well because Rob is too dang nice. Well, and the problem is as well is I had a lot of people leave because I was too much of a tanky as well. Because I wasn't all in on the Ukraine good thing. So I'm trying to be Mr. Nice Guy, but also still be anti-imperialist, and I fucking can't appeal to anybody. You know? I try to be nice while still being a staunch anti-imperialist who doesn't repeat NATO talking points, and I still can't fucking win, can I? Yeah, I'm too tanky. I'm not tanky enough. Here's the problem. I've had people on Twitter saying, I used to watch this guy all the time until the Russia thing melted his brain. You can't handle any analysis that's not US bad. There's no winning. That's right. The forward tanky party. Yes. Thank you, Sin Chow. Enlightened centrist tanky. Well, I appreciate those of you that have stuck around, let me tell you. Remember, though, the U.S. is bad. It's true. It is. It is bad. In the Goldilocks zone of tankiness. Well, I appreciate you, James, and everyone else that's hung around, okay? You're the real MVPs. Yes, Lapo Tapo, I just watched that yesterday. How they incorporated leftist infighting in Endor. The scene with Saw and Luthen was awesome. That was great. Yeah. Saw is kind of an ultra. He's kind of like an ultra Maoist. And he didn't want to work with any of these reformist dogs. That's great. Endor is so fucking good. Endor is just so fucking good. Andor is the best Star Wars media ever. I don't know if I would say that, but it's definitely my favorite Star Wars media that's come out since the early 80s. I mean, that's for sure. Since the original trilogy. It's on Disney Plus. It's really, really good. Watch Andor before new Dragon bullshit. I mean, you can do both. You can watch the Dragon bullshit and Andor at the same time. That's a pretty tall order because episodes 1 through 3 were so perfect. I'm a prequel defender. I enjoy the prequels, not all of them. Maybe not every single moment of every film, but I think the prequels are definitely worthwhile. Especially episode 3, which is one of my favorite Star Wars movies, but I would put Andor above the prequels. It's really good. I'm a squeakquel defender. The squeakquel. The prequels have interesting politics, and Andor actually wants to spend time investigating them. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. It's the kind of thing, it's like you almost wonder how it got approved by Disney. I'm the content enjoyer. Sometimes I watch 2 shows literally at once, like at the same time. Like literally, like while they're playing at the same time. That's messed up. I remember like when I was in my 20s, like when I was like a struggling musician in my 20s and kind of student, I lived in a real like shithole apartment in Montreal on Avenue des Pins and Saint-Dominique in the Plateau. It really like a hot couch kind of apartment. And my roommate Aaron, he had we had a whole like ADHD zone set up in his room, and we would just be in there, and we would be like, I would go to work. I worked at a restaurant for a while. I'd go to work at the restaurant, and then you come back to the ADHD zone, and you sit down, and we had like NBA 2K going on the Xbox on the TV, and then there'd always be a show at the same time. There'd be like a 24 or whatever, Battlestar Galactica. There'd be some kind of media playing on the computer screen with the NBA 2K on the main TV at all times, with the weed being passed around as well. There's weed involved also. And it was just a constant thing. Like the weed. That's right. The weed was there as well. You just wake up and you just roll in there and you immediately start playing NBA 2K with the Battlestar on the screen. Battlestar is another show that the end disappointed me. I would say it was disappointing, but I didn't hate it. I definitely didn't hate it. It didn't really live up to the promise of the earlier seasons, but I enjoyed it though. Passing around the marijuana needles, that's right. I went to my ADHD friend's house recently, and this MF was playing a baseball video on one screen. He's got the Jays game on the TV, and he's listening to music. There we go. We would play WWF WrestleMania 2000 on one TV, and the person not playing would switch between Raw and Nitro on the other TV. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That sounds like good stuff. Here's a crazy story, because there's all kinds of talk about like, there's fear mongering about marijuana and this kind of stuff. BSG peaked with the Pegasus arc, and I just couldn't get back there. I loved the season though. Believe it was season 3 when they're on that planet and the Cylons take over and set up like a provisional government with Baltar. What's his name? As the president. And they have like an insurgency. It's like this total like Iraq parallel where the BSG crew are like doing like terrorism to the Cylons. That was good shit. That was really good. There's been a lot of like fear mongering about Gaius Baltar. That's right. Thank you. Great character. There's been a lot of fear mongering about like marijuana causing psychosis and stuff, which I don't want to contribute to. But I will give you a little story about what happened to me, I was mentioning my roommate at this time. And I don't think marijuana like causes psychosis in anyone, but in an experience that I had showed me that like, I think some people that are susceptible to like schizophrenia or susceptible to this kind of thing can influence them and make these situations worse and make these symptoms a lot worse. Because this exact person that I'm talking about, these girls moved in next door to our apartment, okay? And my roommate started talking to me about like, he was saying, oh, these girls are like, they're knocking on the walls. They're knocking on the walls. And like, they're trying to talk to me. And I was like, okay, like that, that sounded like a reasonable thing that could possibly happen. I didn't think too much about it. Sure. Like they're doing some kind of weird shit. Okay. No problem. And then like, as the days and weeks went on, it became more and more specific. The messages that were being sent through these knocking patterns. And then, then it stopped being about knocking. And then there was actually talking coming through the walls. Talking about things that he had done in the past. All kinds of stuff like that. And then, of course, I started thinking like, okay, this is not normal, right? This is not good what's happening here. This is really not good. And then it turned into just like I'm hearing people talk to me all the time. And it got to be really, I could see he stopped sleeping. He was not sleeping. He was just like hearing people talk to him all the time. And was like, it got to be really bad. He was really like kind of on the brink of having a breakdown. I still remember one time I will never forget this. My roommate, because he really wanted me to understand that it was real, right? And he was looking at me like, of course, like I'm not making this up. No, it's not the weed, but I think the fact that he was smoking a lot of weed increased certain other symptoms that he had. Right? That's the issue. Not that weed causes these things, but that I think people that are susceptible to that kind of thing, schizophrenia, hallucinations, auditory hallucinations, the weed can encourage that. It didn't help with the paranoia. And I will still never forget this. Because one time he was really trying to convince me that it was real. And I had gotten to the point where I was like, man, you have to go see a doctor. Like, like you really have to go talk to someone about this. I can't help you. And he was like, he heard it. I could tell. I was like talking to him and he was like, don't you hear that? He was like pleading with me, right? And I was just like, no, I don't. No, I don't. I don't know how I can explain this to you. I don't know how I can explain this to you any more clearly. And the next day, I think I slept on our sofa that night and I saw him take off early in the morning. And I just didn't hear from him for a couple of days. And I was just like, I didn't know if he was dead or like what was going on. I had to call his parents. And be like, your son is missing. I don't know where he is. Here's what's been going on the last couple of weeks. I had to call the cops. The weird thing is Rob didn't even have a roommate. Oh shit, there's a twist. I had to call the cops and have the cops come over and because again, this was like a messed up hot couch apartment situation. I had this other roommate who was like, he was like a bike courier guy, really kind of like mid 2000s Montreal hipster, big droopy ears and tattoos, bike courier, and his girlfriend was always there. And this cop came over. Very spooky story for November 1st. This cop came over so I could like tell him what was going on. And he starts having like loud sex with his girlfriend down the hall while I'm talking to this cop. There's probably like roaches and all kinds of fucking paraphernalia lying around. He starts having like loud sex with his girlfriend like while I'm sitting there talking to this cop, explaining that like, can you help find our roommate who I don't know if he's alive anymore. It was so weird. But eventually they did find him and he had gotten checked into a hospital. I think he went to see some doctor. Thankfully, I didn't know if I would ever see him again, but he went to talk to somebody and was like, I'm thinking about killing myself or whatever. Told them that. And they immediately put him in like, inpatient care. And the cop tracked him down and said, we found him. He's at this hospital. And we went to visit him. And it does have a happy ending though. No, it was not the missing roommate. This was another roommate. There's a bunch of people living in this extremely shitty apartment. And it does have a happy ending. He got out of the hospital. He got help. He got better. He's got kids now. Wonderful guy. It was just a really scary situation. And definitely something that, while I don't agree with the scaremongering about marijuana and scromiting and all that kind of stuff, it really was a situation that showed me that like it can
count on me
for certain people.
Good old Rob to talk you through all this.
24 subversive months, and all I have to show for it is this collection of TRRS merch.
Thank you, Lodane. Lodane, thank you so much. 2 entire years of Lodane. And you should have the fancy sub badge now. Stop talking shit about weed. No, I love weed. But I think certain people that do have this kind of predilection towards, schizophrenia or whatever, it can make those symptoms worse.
Use the computer to mark up the size of the account.
Have you ever heard of the song by The Sword called To Take the Back, mixing music with dragon bullshit? No, I haven't, but that sounds great. That sounds wonderful. I do know someone who got that really terrible weed disease where she spent ages in the hospital and they didn't know what it was. Cannabinoid hypermesis or syndrome or whatever. She also loved weed and did not make it up. Yeah, it was scary. And because I think he was very paranoid too. So I'm happy that nothing worse happened. Because I think he had convinced himself that I was the enemy. I think he had convinced himself that I was the enemy. I remember one time there was people in the living room and I had gone to see him or whatever. And it was is everyone talking about me? You talking about me out there? That kind of thing. It's no, we're just hanging out, And I think he had convinced himself that I was on the side of the voices or whatever. So, that could have gone a lot worse. I was happy that he followed my advice and went and got help, That roommate's name, Randy Orton. Yeah. So I was happy with that. Because later on he was in therapy and he called me and was I just wanted to thank you. I just wanted to thank you because he was in therapy, and I guess his therapist was just if he was out, speaking to your parents and trying to track you down, obviously he cared about you, and then he ended up saying thank you for doing that. Called Rob to thank him, and Rob demanded 2 months of rent back pay. The moral of the story is that Rob was the hero. That's true. That is absolutely correct. He's been talking folks through this all from the jump. You love to see it. I hope you enjoyed this story. It was kind of spooky. It was kind of a spooky situation. Could have turned out a lot worse. My brother-in-law was experimented with weed for the first time when he got to college and hasn't been the same since. Now he's heavily medicated. So I don't want to talk too much shit about weed. But I will say in my personal experience, I think there's some people that it just really does not agree with. Not that it causes these things. I don't think it causes any of these kind of psychosis or any of these issues, but there are certain people that it just should not fuck with it. But I think we can all be responsible adults. It doesn't need to be illegal to protect the people that, need to stay away from it. That's more with education and understanding. It's not good for people with predisposition or already mentally ill. Yeah, that seems to be the way. Although it depends too, right? Because I'm not the most mentally stable person. I know you see me and you think, okay, this guy's got everything together. I'm not always the most mentally stable person. Often it does really help calm me down. It can help if I've been having panic attacks or if I have issues. Sometimes it's really helped to calm me down as well. So I don't know. Yeah, alcohol fucks many more people up. That's true. Do I look sane to you? I'm about to take a huge rip. Hell yeah, Maxi. Okay, so here's a bit of I got a bit of an issue here, folks. I just got a text come in, and I got a sick kid situation. I got a sick kid that's got to get picked up from school. So I don't know how much longer I can stay. But because I actually do have to go in a couple minutes now. I thought I had another 2 hours or so. Is the sick kid yours? Yes, it's my kid. Yes. Jesus. So, if anyone does want to support the stream before I go, that would be appreciated. I hope you've enjoyed this like story hour. I was hoping to watch the rest of that video about Lula and Brazil. I guess we're gonna have to punt that until tomorrow. But if you do want to support this stream and subscribe to the channel, it's very helpful. It supports me in the community. It costs $5 per month. You can subscribe completely free of charge.
You're gonna have good old Rob to talk you through all.
You can subscribe completely free of charge with a Twitch Prime account. You can gift subs like Outrun just did very generously. Thank you, Outrun, for the 3 gifted subs.
Good old Rob to talk you through all this.
And join the highly exclusive Friendship Triangle community. Thank you, Ian DJ Cooper, for the 14 months of Tier 1. Can't believe you choose your own child over Twitch chat. You can, for the low cost of $5, folks.
You're going to have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
For the low cost of $5, you can be friends with a washed-up musician.
Good old Rob
with a washed-up former pop star. Doesn't that sound cool? Doesn't that sound nice? Thank you, Pissed, for gifting a sub to No Free Will. And thank you, Comrade Social Distancing, for the 2 gifted subs. Thank you so much for that. You can be friends because if you subscribe to this channel, we become officially friends, okay? Not only are you friends with me, you're friends with everyone in this community. We're less atomized. We're less isolated. You know, we got a community. And you can officially tell people that you are friends with a washed-up musician. You know, that's fun, right? Oh yeah, my friend Rob, he's this former mildly successful pop star. You know, that's kind of fun, right? That's a fun story you can tell people. Washed up, that implies you're clean. I'm very clean right now. Okay, I had a shower earlier.
Talk you through all this.
I had a shower before we got started here. I bring it up during every parent-teacher conference. People love it. Thank you. You can get discounts in some, stores and restaurants. I didn't have a shower earlier. Well, that's okay, Lodane. You're on different time. It's only afternoon for you, so your shower should be at like 2 or 3 in the morning. You're good. You say he's mild-mannered and mildly successful? Oh my goodness. I know. Very exciting. We got Pry Bars is looking for a gifted sub. Pry Bars needs a friend. We all need a friend, folks. We all need a friend. I have Rob listed as my emergency call recipient. Thank you, Starlight. I'm happy to be that for you. Absolutely. That offer goes out to anybody if you need to be an emergency contact or anything like that. I have my walls covered in printed out pictures of Rob. I was featured in Kerrang! Magazine, talking about my history as a washed-up pop star. Kerrang! Magazine had a big feature in that. I don't have it. I wish I still had that magazine. I don't think even Google can find it. It's too obscure. It's too obscure. I don't know my emergency contact number. Just spam his chat. I'm pretty sure that's how that's how that works. So, any other takers, folks? Any other takers want to support this community? I've got to leave to go take care of a sick child. Our poor friend Pry Bars is out there begging for a gifted sub. Pry Bars needs a friend. Pry Bars needs community. Pry Bars is atomized, isolated.
You can count
on me.
Gotta
help this person.
Have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
Thank you for the gifted sub, Gen X Bushy. Thank you so much. It's mutual aid. That's right. Prybars needs access to Twitch emotes of Kim Jong-il. Or Kim Il-sung, sorry. June 27th, Kerrang! Issue 1267. That actually may have been it. That actually may have been it. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. That's it. That's it. So if you want to buy that on eBay, or was it the one with Green Day? I think it might have been the one.
You can count on
with
me
30 Seconds to Mars.
Good old Rob to talk you through all this.
I can't remember if it was the Green Day cover, or if it was the 30 Seconds to Mars cover. 30 Seconds to Mars were huge in the UK at that time. Huge. Old Dutch, thank you for the gifted sub to Prybars. Thank you, Old Dutch. There's an image of me in this magazine. I can't remember which one it was. Where we're like hanging off a cliff. I'm like hanging off a cliff. I wish I still had this. Thank you very much to the community members.
You can count on me. You're going to have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
And now Prybars is gifting a sub. Prybars, you're a mystery wrapped in an enigma. You're a mystery wrapped in an enigma. You need a gifted sub, but then you're paying it forward immediately. I don't think I get it, but thank you. I appreciate the gifted sub. I appreciate that. Okay, if there's no more takers, I gotta go. I gotta go take care of my kid now, I guess. He seemed fine this morning, so I don't know what the problem is. Hopefully everything's okay. But I'm gonna go take care of him now.
Septum piercing. She believes in astrology.
You can count on me. You're going to have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
Thank you, Anonymous Gifter. Thank you, Anonymous Gifter, for the gifted sub.
You can count on me. You're going to have good old Rob to talk you
and
through
Quiet
all this.
185, thank you for
TRRS Sankara.
the 5 months tier 1. Thank you, Quiet One. Remember, folks, some of the best emotes on this entire platform, even if you don't like me, even if you don't like me personally, you find me too tanky, not tanky enough, you think I'm a lame former pop star or whatever, you watched my music video and you think I'm a loser or whatever it is. Oh, now I got to answer the phone because now I got someone calling about changing my tires. Even if you don't like me, though, great emotes. Yeah, Mr. Cypher, it's been a pleasure hearing from you. No, the chat doesn't suspect anything. I told them that I was taking a call about tires, so they don't think that there's anything going on with that. Yep. Yeah, no, I'm still doing the thing where I pretend to be critical of the Ukraine situation, which helps them to trust me. It helps them to trust me because I'm against this. Yeah, exactly what we went over with the PowerPoint. That's right. Yep. Great. Yeah, no, a pleasure to hear from you. Once again, sir, Mr. Cypher, always a pleasure. I am planning on coming down to Langley just for a weekend.
Talk you through all this.
It would be nice to be able to see some people.
Wow.
Haven't been there for a couple of weeks, so it'd be great to reconnect. We can get lunch or something. Yep. Okay. Great. Thanks again, sir. Okay. Bye-bye. Huh. So I just went to unmute my microphone and it muted it. No, it's just, you know, I gotcha.
We simply use the computer to mark up the size of the account.
I got you, folks. Thank you, Dimitri, for the classic Rob Jape. Exactly. Thank you, Dimitri, for the 100 friend coin. And thank you also to Tyler Madsen for the 12 months of Tier 1. Thank you, Tyler. Very much appreciated. Thank you. Oh, I got you. I got you, folks. Can I really not raid again? Are you fucking kidding me? Really? Really? We are unable to raid Gremlo at this time. God damn it. Outrun, can you raid Gremlo, please? Jesus Christ. It's just Gremlo, Gremloe. This is ridiculous. And I get a signal, I get a notification that says Rob Rousseau is raiding Gremlo with 152 raiders. Raid for 250 friend coin. It's me. That's me. Why are you asking me to join the raid? It's literally my channel. That was a joke, the whole thing about John Cypher and everything. Totally just, I got you. I got you, folks. Hilarious. One of those classic Rob Japes that we all know and love. Totally just a joke. What about the tires? I got the meeting set up. I set up a meeting, all right. Just being emotionally crushed for lulz. That's right. Take care, everyone. I should be back tomorrow. Okay? I should be. We'll see what goes on with this stuff. I'll talk to you then.